Welcome back to another episode of Host City Hustle. Of course, we have another special guest joining us today. We're so elated to have her, and we're going to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. But make sure you all have your water, your coffee, your tea. Make sure you are zone and in zen as you're watching, because I know she's going to drop a lot of major gems. Without further ado, we have Kelly joining us. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, Danny. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Kelly Fisher. I'm business advisor with my company, Royal Fisher. We work with business owners, especially in the construction industry, helping them to grow, scale, and exit the business, building strategies for expansion and growth and scale. And some of them family businesses, they want to exit in some point and pass to the second generation. So we work with that, helping them with the exit strategy.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of what you do is like helping get the operations in order, getting things structured. And what we often do as entrepreneurs and as solo entrepreneurs at that is we work so much in the business, but yet we say we want to scale and not realizing that if you just get the structure in order, scalability then follows. Why is it important to build a structure and to have operations to see scalability within your business?
Sure, this is a great question. So one of the things when we are founders, we are in the operations, we are working on the day-to-day as experts. So when we start to grow and make money, the tendency is to hire a bunch of people to fill the positions and help with the fulfillment of the work. But then we don't have a structure. So the tendency as a founder is to overlooking everything and micromanaging everything. When we build this corporate structure, even if you are a small business, even if you are I business, let's say, but already start to build with the corporate structure, we can build the systems. So whenever you are plugging people inside your business, hiring, they can follow the system. With that is important because give you freedom to enjoy the money that you are making. So, and the other side, thinking on the exit plan, is you increase valuation, you increase the transferable value of the company because if you are the one who runs everything and everything depends on your answer, your decision, you don't have valuation. So if you want to exit in some point, your business doesn't value anything. Whenever you have a system in place and professionals operating the business without you, and then we increase the transferable value for future sale.
That's one of the things that I pride myself on too, even as a podcaster, is I really teach digital assets and having IP. And it's much easier to get those things when you have an exit plan the moment that you start, because now you're building from the beginning and you're
Yep.
saving the documents and you're keeping everything on record, as opposed to like getting to a point where you are ready to scale, but now you have to take many steps backwards just to get the operations back in order. So, just as a business person, having that mindset, what your exit plan is, and then reverse engineering will save
Exactly.
people so much trouble. And I know you have a background in architect, right? So you
Yeah.
probably understand it very well, building on a foundation. Tell us more about how you've used those transferable skills to help you where you started earlier in your career in architecture to now working with now full circle people who are in construction, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, building on a foundation to help your business be sustainable.
Sure. Yeah, this is great because actually I transitioned my career because I was not very good on, I was exactly my client. when I was running my architectural firm. I was expert. I was in the operations. I was doing projects, visiting site jobs, and taking care of clients. But I didn't know how to run a business in a sense of building the strategy, the big vision, where we are going. I was exactly putting people to work for me, but I didn't have this big vision, this plan, the foundation you talked about. So I understood the importance of that when the storm came. So when the storm came, that I saw myself in a situation that I needed to let everybody go, was a politics, economics problem, and everything affecting the business. I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Then I realized that I was arrogant, thinking that I could run a business with my architectural knowledge. And that's when I decided to study about business for me to be able to run the company with stewardship. So today, and when I realized that and I lost everything, I was like, okay, I need to be a good steward. If God want to give me a second company, another company, I need to know how to run a business. So I learned about finances, business, people, emotional intelligence, how to deal with our own, stress and everything. So productivity, I started to study everything and I fell in love with that. So I started to build my second company here in the US. I'm from Brazil originally, and here in the US, I opened the second company I built since the foundation, like you said. And today, with my clients, because of the architectural mindset, whenever they come to me with a challenge, I see like a scratch or something like that cracking on the wall. I was like, okay, let's see what is the problem in the foundation for us to be able to fix everything, fix the whole building from the foundation. What was not well done in the foundation that's affecting the other side of the building called company. So this is the way I apply today my architectural mindset, the way I think when building and designing and building the blueprint of a business for that business to be successful, always starting with the design, the blueprint, the foundation, strong foundation, and sometimes takes time, and you know that we need time to build the foundation. But whenever you see a building, big building built, it takes like 4 months, 5 months in the foundation phase, but then when it starts it's fast. So when this foundation up is really fast, and this is the same way with a company. To work the foundation takes time, but then when it's done and well done, it's easy to build the systems and everything after that.
That's so good. That explains itself, but I want to get into mindset a bit as that's what was coming out and unearthing from what you just shared. Mindset when you hit a plateau to know that, okay, I'm going to have to now study more about business. I've been leaning on my background as an architect for so long, but now I have to shift things mindset wise to understand how I can be successful in this new area. And
Yeah.
now that I've done both, I can take all of my experience to help my clients. I want to ask about when you're working with your clients, what's one of the first things they have to shift mindset, and then one of the things that they have to implement in their business to get, full circle thing going?
Sure. That's a great question. um, Mindset wise, they need to be the first thing to shift. So when I talk about a corporation structure, we see on the base is the operation, is the technical people. And whenever you are a founder, expert, they are on the operations. This is the first mindset shift that we need to change from operations to the strategic side of the company. So that's why whenever I work with them, I tell them that we are going to transition from founder to CEO. That's the first mindset shift from operations there to execution, strategic thinking. And this is hard for whoever is a technical person to think strategically, to think in the future, to plan for the future. And then, like you said, reverse engineering to delegate and build a leadership and everything. So this is the first thing, shift mindset shift from founder to CEO. We need to think strategically. You need to think in the long term. You need to think where you are going with this business and what you wanted to achieve, what type of impact you want to create in the society. Is not only paying the bills. Whenever you started to pay the bills, but now it's not paying the bills anymore. Now it's a real business. We need to deal with that as a real business. So the second thing they implement after the mindset shift, and it's kind of go in parallel, it is to build this big vision. So whenever I work with them, I do a kind of a emotional exercise, like close your eyes and think that you are 90 years old. 90 years old with your grandkids around you, what they are saying about you, what type of legacy you created, what are thanking you for. And then they start to imagine that, so they see that's bigger than them. It's about legacy. Yeah.
I love that. Let's talk about how we can use that same mindset and then kind of big, broad thinking to think about FIFA when it comes to a business. What core things are they going to implement? So I know I want to make 10K at the very least from, the restaurant or from the bakery or from the bar. And so knowing that there's going to be an influx of people that are going to come through because of FIFA, if you live in one of the host cities, especially, how can I start thinking big picture to get the results that I want?
Yeah. So first of all is to prepare for these great people that are coming here. So the increasing the amount of people and requests and everything. And with that, need to go over all the systems. Okay, let's train people again. Let's see if our systems are working well and with flow. And the second main thing I think is the customer service. You need to train the people to serve people well. This way, they are going to recommend, they are going to come back whenever they are traveling to the US again. They are going to be talking about you on social media. So you need to be prepared with the people trained not only to do the flow of all the services providing, but the customer service, the customer experience actually. What is the type of experience you want your customers from all over the globe to have while they're here? And have a strong position on social media, because then a strong position on social media is going to make these people attracted to you, because it's your business owners, especially in the food industry or hospitality, they are going to be competing with many people, so you need to be positioned. And we don't have too much time now to prepare, so need to be right away. Prepare your company, right flow, customer experience, and show this customer experience on social media. Instagram is a great one, especially for the hospitality and food industry. But if you are from other industries providing services or providing what type of services you can provide that and do a strategic partnership, I think is a great thing as well. So if you know it's a FIFA, it's a people are coming, athletes, guests, and everything, what are the type of strategic partnerships you can do with, for example, drivers or Uber drivers, or renting places or something like that, that you can give a referral fee or something to go to your place to eat, or to go to your field to show what you are doing as far as athlete or teams or some kind of this type of things. And not only that, there are people that are the investors coming because of this great thing. So, and then you can increase housing and we can increase all the transportation and all of that. So, how we can think strategically in a long term, if people decide to move here, if people decide to, they loved America, they want to here, be here, even with all the immigration situation, we are, how can we help these people to be here or invest in housings, in construction? Being investors and influx the country with money.
Hmm. I love that too. And I know that, well, okay, a few things. First of all, I'm thinking about you are originally from Brazil, so you are not new to like showing, having a good time and having an influx of people traveling to where you're originally from. And so that customer service factor, I know that you know that well with just hosting big events in the past. So could you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Um, yeah, I arrived here 7 years ago, and actually I came to visit as vacation like anybody else. And I'm going to be sincere with you. I fell in love with the righteousness of the country and the generosity of the people. So even being from Brazil, not speaking English well, I received the generosity of the people and the a love and embracing and receiving. That was really good. And the second thing, the righteousness that we have here, and some Americans they don't realize that because they don't come from a corrupted country. They don't know how hard it is to be an entrepreneur there and to pay so many taxes and to do all of that. So America is truly a country of opportunities. Going out a little bit of what we are talking, so I received a video from my sister, 10 countries that Brazilians flee to. So running away from Brazil and going to those countries. In second place is Portugal with 200,000 Brazilians running to Portugal. US is first place with 1.9 Brazilians, 1.9 million Brazilians. So you see the difference from between the second place to the first place for you to see how good America is and a righteous place. And even with all the craziness that we see sometimes is still a good place to go. Then you see this great migration of 1.9 million Brazilians coming here. Um, so I came here for that, and I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question, but the main thing is customer experience is what bring people to your business, and we can create the customer experience in any business, even on the soccer team, like you said. When you create an environment that people feel as part of a community, they are willing to be loyal to you, and be like fans and followers. So you can build your business with clients as fans and employees as followers that are going to talk about you all the time. So that's why it's important to focus on the foundation and building these systems that flows and create this customer experience.
Hmm. And yes, you answered it perfectly. And I do want to be honest that there is this kind of stigma and negative connotation, especially right now in the state of affairs that we're in. But I like what you also said. We don't have to subscribe to that on either side. We can choose to stand out and show how much we support everyone from all backgrounds and all diversity. So I think that's important to highlight. And then also bringing forth your experience with, again, just customer service, period. And then also, you were talking about collaboration. That's another thread that's been interweaved throughout conversations with experts who we've had on the platform. And that collaboration doesn't just mean, okay, rah, rah, everybody showed up for the World Cup and now everything goes quiet. Collaboration can mean how can we continue to work together even after FIFA is finished. And that's actually what a lot of people who have backgrounds in construction, they see that, they understand that, and that's what they're planning for. And also, again, as entrepreneurs, some things we just don't ever think about because we have our blinders on. We're working so much in the business, we don't understand the collaborative opportunities that can come about. So, thank you for sharing that because I wanted that to come through. You touched on that so much. Just because you work with construction and workers and businesses, I'm sure, how can you see that panning out, if people were to collaborate and keep things going? Just like, I don't know, projects that might come about because now you can do government contracts and do more construction due to the influx of traffic that came through.
Yeah. So government contracts is one of the topics that we can see collaboration. So if somebody is a prime contractor and then they can plug with a subcontractor and collaborate and have a long-term return from that. But thinking about the event with FIFA coming and everything like that, many people can collaborate. They don't need to be competitors. I always say, and this is a phrase that I always say in all my events or whenever I'm a keynote speaker, it's collaboration over competition. If you think about, okay, let's create the customer experience in the food industry, we can put together many chefs of many different restaurants in one place and create that full experience of a whole week or a full weekend of different type of food and restaurants working together in one place, like to give this experience. So there are a lot of opportunities to collaboration, like what we are doing here right now. We are collaborating on trading audience and talking one about each other and then promoting our social media. So this is a type of collaboration as well. Um, there are a lot of people that like to work with influencer marketing, so hiring influencers. So how can we collaborate with the influencers that are working the travel industry, that can bring to our hotel or hostel or restaurant or our academy, soccer academy or something like that. That's the main thing that I think is collaboration over competition always. If we collaborate, we work together, we grow together. We don't need to compete.
I love that. How can leadership structure protect a company that is moving during this fast expansion?
Mm. Leadership, it is a challenge for companies to build the leadership, um, especially in today's world. Usually, the owner has the tendency to get that guys that is high performance and put them as a leader, but sometimes they are not prepared to be leaders. One of the things that I teach, and your audience can always go and see the free workshop, learning about people, is we need to learn about people, their behavior profile, the personality types, and then see who we can develop to be a leader. Because one of the things that I see is many companies they hire by resume, but they fire because of the behavior. So the resume doesn't tell who the person is in the personality and behavior side. And many, for you to build a leadership, you need to see that who are really truly a leader, is a player, but sometimes the player is not a leader, is not the person who is going to, okay, let's work together, let's build this together. They like to work alone and they get all the results whenever they are doing stuff alone. So we see a lot of A players in companies this way. So the first thing is to identify this leadership desire gift that the person has to, okay, let's work together. Let's put the hands together. Let's do this together. Let's grow together. And the real leader, they have the ownership mindset. So inside a company, inside a corporation, they need to have the ownership mindset. They don't have the mindset of I'm doing my job, I'm going to deliver that, and I'm gone. No, they think if the company grows, I will grow with the company. If I help, I will grow with the company. And even though look like that the corporations don't see it, they see it. Real directors and managers and executives that are good stewards, they see whoever is putting the effort and with ownership mindset. So I think to develop the leadership is that one, identify who has the right behavior and then pour into this person to develop them, and they need to have the ownership mindset. It's off. Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly, for joining us on the Whole City Hustle podcast. And I know we talked a little bit about you have a personal relationship. This is a fun fact with a soccer player, right? And I know you said that they are still working with you and they still have been your client for a little while. And so
Yeah.
to me, that speaks to the type of leader that you are when you're able to not only cultivate these relationships, deliver practical results, and then you're still able to build a community where those same people still come back. Tell us a little bit about what your company does specifically, what Royal was built for.
Yeah. Yeah. So Royal Fisher is a company that comes to help the business owner founder to transition from the founder to the CEO. How we do that, we build the strategic plan for the growth and expansion. With that, we are able to build the corporate structure and then move from the corporate structure to the systems, building the systems to give freedom for the founder to the point that they can exit in some point, but if they don't want, they can succession planning and all of that. And the fun fact is, this client of mine, he's the owner of Lakeland United Soccer Club. So it's a team, soccer team here in Lakeland, Florida. And when they came to me, they were in the six-figure range, and they asked me to help exactly to coach them on the business side because they were a bunch of players and a great lawyer that was the owner. He's the owner, and the main thing is the mindset shift. They all moved from the operations to their executive positions, and with that was able to scale and grow the company from two types of streams of income. That was the team and the placement, bridge placement program, bringing students all over the globe to study here with a scholarship from soccer, but then increase the streams of income in a way that from $1 million valuation, they went to $86 million valuation, and it started to attract investors to invest and prepare for the Copa and the FIFA, and preparing to receive these people and athletes here. So that's the great thing of building strategically and building the foundation, because we see the future and we can prepare for the future.
Love that. Awesome. So, proof of concept there. And again, you dropped so many gems. How can people stay connected to you and follow you and potentially work with you in the near future?
Sure, thank you. They can connect with me by my website, from my website, www.royalfisher, and Fisher is my last name, SCHER.org. And then book a call and they can talk with me. If they want to follow me on social media, my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Kelly E.L. Fisher. So my last name.
Awesome again, and we'll make sure to have that information under the video. Thank you all. I hope you wrote everything down, but if not, you can always come back and return to this video, share it with a friend, leave your comments, and make sure you follow Kelly because she's the person to follow. You all take care. Thanks again, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danny.